If you're looking for a seed with the Mesa Badlands, a jungle, and all the wonders that inhabit it, then this seed might have you covered. But to get to these many things, we of course have to start off with the spawn, which is right here pretty knee-deep inside the middle of a desert. But you're clearly not too incredibly far from getting yourself wood, as there's this one jungle right here. And just at the end of this one jungle, we get this one village right here, which if I'm honest, probably isn't the best place to be settling down inside of a village, because just over this one hill, you get a pillager outpost. And just past that pillager outpost, we get ourselves some pretty decently high terrain around here. But yeah, let's stay on point and stay inside this jungle, or inside of this river inside of a jungle, because yeah, we get ourselves a jungle temple just in the middle of this one river, which at the very least makes it a little bit easier to find. Like, you're not knee deep inside of something like a bamboo forest or something like that, as we can see right here. And even that actually isn't too incredibly hard to get yourself out of. And as we can see right here, we're not too incredibly far from the Mesa Badlands either. But of course, as we are right next to a desert, you might be expecting a certain temple. Well, you'd be correct, because just setting yourself just right here, we get ourselves a totally desert temple. Yeah, there's a decent amount of grass around it, but there's also a decent amount of sand, which, you know, could only mean that this has to be a desert temple. But whether or not you want to take advantage of that, you could always take advantage of this desert/jungle village right here. But something I've just noticed is just how abrupt you go from one biome to another. Like, look at how straight this one singular line is from the jungle to the desert. But oh well, it shouldn't make too much of a difference as we head up to our totally jungle temple. Yep, it has melons around it, it's inside this lush green grass, so must be a jungle temple that's suspiciously made out of sandstone, but that shouldn't be too much of a hassle. But heading up this way, you get yourself this one village right here, not too incredibly far from another pillager outpost, which also isn't too incredibly far from the Mesa Badlands over here. And of course, these places are great for getting yourself tons and tons of terracotta, tons and tons of red sand, and of course, tons and tons of, gold. And as you can see, this Mesa Badlands is pretty surrounded by some desert, some more desert, and an ocean. But some of the best generation, in my opinion, is when the Mesa Badlands actually coincides with these stony shores, because, in my opinion, they just look like they mesh together so perfectly. Like just the terracotta and the stone. I don't know what it is, but something about it just makes me feel like this was meant to happen. But some snow inside of a Mesa Badlands, not exactly sure if that's supposed to happen. Oh well, in case snow isn't your thing inside of a Mesa Badlands, then maybe this incredible drop inside of a pretty decent sized cave right here might be what you're looking for instead. But of course, jumping down into almost certain doom isn't something that everyone would want to do, so I'd recommend instead just heading yourself outside of the ocean and inside this way, inside this massive gap of the mountain. But if you're in the certain spot, you might have noticed a certain other thing not too incredibly far. Yeah, you get one of these abandoned mine shafts hidden itself right inside of the Mesa Mountain. But in case you have some issues for whatever reasons with Mesa mine shafts, and you actually get yourself a pretty normal mine shaft sitting yourself literally just right here. And when I say literally just right here, I still do mean like right on the edge of the deep slate layer, but you know, it's still here. But do you know what's just as good as going down really deep? Climbing up really high. Yeah, we get some really tall Mesa mountains all over the place here too. And like seriously tall Mesa mountains. I mean, we're only about 20 blocks from the limit of how high these things could actually go. But okay, if you still don't have enough things such as gold from this one place, then a certain other place might actually have the gold you need. Yeah, sitting yourself right in the middle of here is a ruined portal with 4 pieces of obsidian, which surprisingly is actually all the obsidian you need to actually fill in this one portal. And apart from having to break 1 piece of crying obsidian, you have pretty much everything you need to go to the nether. Speaking of which, this is the type of nether spawn you get if you use that ruined portal, which on the surface might not seem like the best nether spawn, but if you head just in this direction for just a couple hundred blocks across some pretty decently flat terrain, and because coming up just over here, you actually get yourself a Bastion Remnant right here. But generally speaking, if you're looking for a seed with a pretty good mix of Mesa and jungle, then this seed might have you covered. Hey, come on, there's so much gold in here that you could literally make a golden throne. Who could say no to that?